Hi guys, hello folks, good evening, welcome to the last session of Last Lap to CAT 2022. Hi Varun, nice to see you here, Music Co, Disha, Tanisha, Dinesh, hello, I hope I'm audible. Would love to hear a couple of yeses if I'm audible, waiting to see a few people. Hey Satyanshu, hello, hey Thatoiba. Hi guys, just waiting to hear a couple of yeses. Oh, Nihar is saying yes, so seems like I'm audible. Hello Abhishek, hello Nandan, hello Sachin, Guru. Hi guys, hello. Okay, so Varun, you kind of, that's a nice way to start. You're going ahead and stating, is there any way to save time in DILR to avoid cases? Wow, interesting. Okay, cool. So I will pick it up, okay? I'll pick it up. Hey Harshad, hey Pragya, Ashish, hello. Hi guys, okay. So welcome to the last session of Last Lap to CAT 2022. While the session is all about 7 days to CAT 22, what is it that you should do, what should you expect on D-Day, what are some of the intangibles that you should keep in mind, and a couple of other things related to that. So as you can see here, I'm talking about expectations, CAT Day and the 7 days to CAT. I think my image is a little too big right now. It will be handled in a couple of seconds. Okay, hey education world, okay, looking forward to listen Bawa Saka Bawal, okay. Hopefully the Bawal will be positive Bawals and no negative Bawals here. But yeah, so this is predominantly the agenda for today, which is expectations of D-Day followed by CAT D-Day and then 7 days to CAT. However, you know, Varun just pointed out something which was all about, you know, is there some way in which we can actually go ahead and save some time in DILR as well? So I've also gotten a lot of questions from some of you in my previous session going ahead and talking about DILR, where you all have gone ahead and asked me, okay, it's nice to see the shortcut methodology you've come up with when it comes to quant, but something can we do in DILR? So before I start off with the 7-day plan and what's in store and what you should do, I actually want to pick up a couple of sets for DILR. Okay? So I want to go ahead and showcase to you how options can be utilized in DILR and how you can make your task easier and thereby go ahead and score well in DILR as well. I hope all of you all are game. I hope this makes sense to spend a little bit more time with respect to DILR, a couple of sets to see how you can go ahead and be smarter before I run to the, you know, official important part of today's session, which is all about what to do over the course of the next 7 days. So I want to hear a couple of CCs and yeses before we go ahead and get started. All cool, sounds good. Some LR sets consume a lot of time, obviously some will. I can't go ahead and state that all won't, but yeah, okay, lovely. So what I'm going to do is, I've got two DILR sets, you know, one which is an actual CAT set, second which we've kind of gone ahead and made for you. Now in those two sets, obviously I will read those sets along with you. I won't be able to give you a lot of time to solve because we've got limited time today and there's a lot more I need to do other than DILR. We'll read it together and we'll try to solve it together. Okay, that's how we'll go about it. So let's quickly go ahead and get started. Some of you might actually have seen this set earlier as well. It's a CAT set, come over the last 2 to 3 years. Many of you all might have seen it already. So let's read it together and let's see how I would go ahead and solve something like this. Okay, this is actually from my slot in CAT of that year. So let's have a look at it. Answer the questions on the basis of the info given below. There were 7 elective courses E1 to E7 running in a specific term in a college. Each of the 300 students enrolled had chosen just one elective from among these 7s. However, before the start of the term, E7 was withdrawn as the instructor concerned had left the college. The students who had opted for E7 were allowed to join any of the remaining electives. Also, the students who had chosen other electives were given one chance to change their choices. The table below captures the movement of the students from one elective to another during the process. Movement from one elective to the same elective simply means no movement. Some numbers in the table got accidentally erased. However, it is known that these were either 0 or 1. Important. They were either 0 or 1. So we've understood earlier 7 courses, one teacher bids bye-bye, 7 turns to 6. All students who had chosen whatever electives among those 7 are given one more opportunity to choose and the table will showcase the shifting. That's all that there is in this set. There is some additional information. Let's see what that states. Further, the following is known. Before the change process, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4, but after the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more students than E6, while E2 had 10 more students than E3. And the table given in the question is something like this, as you can see, from elective to elective. So from elective, these are the 7. Earlier there were 7 electives, 2 elective, these are the 6. So these 7 have moved to this 6. That means if I look at the row total is all the students. If I look at say this row total, all students who had chosen E1 earlier, and if I look at this column total, all students who have eventually chosen E1. That's predominantly what the set is. So we've read the set together. What I like to do at this juncture is not go ahead and start solving, but first go ahead and look at the questions. And let's look at the questions. How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in the enrollments after the change process? When I read this question, it tells me how many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in enrollments after change. That means I need to know the previous number and the final number and then look at the change and see whether it's positive or negative. That means I need the full table. There is a lot of work that will be needed for this particular question. Okay, okay, that goes on in my brain. Okay, second question. After the change process, which of the following is the correct sequence of number of students in the 6 electives E1 to E6? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, come on, if you like it, go ahead, like the video, come on, quick start, kick start. But this is the question which becomes very, very interesting. Okay. When I look at this question, that's where, you know, something pops up in my mind, which is what is it? What is it? After the change in process, which of the following is the correct sequence of number of students in the 6 electives? That means all the 6 electives. If you remember the previous slide, we were looking at column sum total. If I look at this total, this total, this total, this total, this total, if I need to know that, the answer is one of these 4 choices. The answer is one of these 4 choices. This becomes a star mark for me that I am going to utilize this question a lot while actually going ahead and filling the table. This is going on in my brain. I want to do that. Okay. Next question, after the change, which course among E1 to E6 had largest change in its enrollment as a percentage? I need all data, I can't go ahead and do anything, forget it. Look at the next one. Later the college imposed a condition that if after the change of electives, the enrollment in any elective other than E7 dropped to less than 20 students, all the students who had left the course will be required to re-enroll for that elective. Again, I need to know complete data, initial, for, you know, the final thing E1 to E6, and then I will do something. So, when I look at these questions, the thing going on in my mind is, Gautam, attempt this set. Set is easy to understand, but also keep in mind that there is a question 2 which is going to give you a lot of information to go ahead and solve. Now let's actually go ahead and start solving together. Is everybody clear till here? Is everybody clear till here? How would you read the set and why you should go ahead and look at the questions? The questions are very, very important. Okay? Everybody clear? Cool? Music ko? Lovely. Shweta, okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and look at the table. So this is my table. This is the table. From 2, what I've done is, all of us know that we need total, right? We need total of initial E1 mein how many, initial E2, initial E3, and then final E1, E2, E3 and so on. Kya hai? We need this total, okay, both sides. So I've added this total here and total here. Now what are the totals I already know? Well, I know E1 initially, that's 14, 24, 25, 29, 31. Let's put 31 here. I can see I know E2 in the end, which is 39 and 6, 45, 45 and 3, 48, 53, 60, 76. These 2 totals I know, I keep it. I keep it here. Okay? These 2 totals are here. Let's go ahead and look at the questions. Sorry, let's go ahead and look at the additional information. Okay? Okay? So let's look at it. Okay? Before the change process, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4. Okay? Before the change in process, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4. Now, before the change in process, how many students were there in E1? 31. 6 more than in E4, so E4 was 25. Okay? Now, if E4 is 25, look at the sum of the cells I know. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 14 is 19. 19 plus 4 is 23. 2 cells left. The cells can take value 0 or 1. Cells can take value 0 or 1. There are 2 cells left and I need 2. I have 23, I need to go to 25. So both cells will take 1. Now put 1, put 1. Now when you are creating this table, when you are going ahead and creating this table in CAT, okay? When you are going ahead and creating this table in CAT, because you will be using a pen and you won't know what is it that you are filling in right now, go ahead and do this so that you know what are the cells that you are filling in. In case there is a problem that comes towards the end, you realize I've made some mistake, you will know I just need to remove the cells which are circled. Clear? Cool? As simple as that. Just keep that in mind. Okay, this is done. Let's look at the additional information. But after the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than in E1. After the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than E1. After reshuffle, E4 was 3 more than E1. So keep that in mind. E4 was 3 more than E1. Can't do anything right now. I'm not looking at it. I'm not worrying about it. I'll come back to it later. Okay? Not worried. Let's go to the next statement. What was it? The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. Okay? The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. So, final E2 is 76. That means initial E2 would have been 46. Because it increased by 30. Look at the cells. 34 plus 8, 42 plus 4, 46. That means the two cells are 0. Done. Clear? Both cells done. 0. No tension. Absolutely fine. Let's look at what is the additional data. Okay. Now if I go back here, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than E1. After the reshuffle, number of students in E4 was 3 more than E1. Can't do anything about it. I'll come back to it later. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more students than E6, while E2 had 10 more than E3. Before the change in process, E4 had 2 more than E6. So before the change in process, E4 is 2 more than E6. So E6 is 23. Sum it, 10 and 9 is 19 and 2, 21. 2 cells left. 2 cells left, both will become 1. 1, 1. Clear? Okay. Let's look at the next statement. I hope everybody is following. Want to hear a few yeses. Are you following? Yes, CC. All okay? Everything's fine? Just want to hear, are you being able to follow how we are going about it? I'll come back. The interesting part is going to come. CC. Lovely. Okay, perfect. Let's look at it. Before the change in process, E4 had 2 more than E6, okay, while E2 had 10 more than E3. So before the change in process, E2 had 10 more than E3. E2 is 10 more than E3, so E3 was 36. Add it, 31, 33, 35. So 1 will be 0, 1 will be 1. 1 will be 0, 1 will be 1. अब मैं यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं wait कर रहा हूँ. I am waiting here, okay, waiting. There was one part which I had left, which I had stated, look here. After the reshuffle, number of students in E4 is 3 more than E1. Number of students in E4 is 3 more than E1. So if E1 is X, E4 is X plus 3. Now look at this. Now look at where we are, okay. Look at E1. Look at E1. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. So E1 will either be 17 or the value of E5. Now E5 cell can be 0 or 1. So this can be 0 or 1. That means sum of E1 is either 17 or 18. 17 or 18. I hope we are clear till here. Okay, 17 or 18. Now E4 should be 3 more. Let's look at where E4 is right now. It is 14 plus 1. Okay, 14 plus 1 which is 15. 15 and 5 which is 20. 20 plus 1 which is 21. It is already 21. It is already 21. If it is already 21, then E1 has to be at least 18. E1 has to be at least 18. It can't be 17. So this is gone. This will be 18 and that means this is 1. One sec. That means this is 1. As simple as that. Now if this is 18, this is 21. We already have 21. So this is 0. This is 0. Now stop. Now stop. Are we clear till here, everybody? Is everybody clear till here? Has everybody understood till here? That's it. Just till here. Want to hear? Clear? Cool? Lovely. One thing, okay, which I'll go ahead and do. 1 and 0 I had gone ahead and put. So this has to be 1. Now if you added 3, 28, 34, 36, done. Now stop. Now go check with options. Absolutely right, Music Co. Now go check with options. Now if I look at the options, you look here. There are 2 options A and B which start with 19. They are wrong. Okay. There are 2 options which start with 19. They are wrong. There are 2 options which start with 18. There are 2 options which start with 18. That is what we want. That is what we want. We know 18, 76, blank and 21. 18, 76, blank and 21. 18, 76, blank and 23. Wrong. 18, 76, blank and 21. This is right. So the final answer or the final allocation will be 18, 76, 79, 21, 45, 61. That means 79, 45, 61. 79, 45, 61. Clear till here? Now the table has come from the option. The table has completely come from the options. Now I can just go ahead and add. Now go ahead and add and see. Let's look at E3. 10 plus 8, 18. 18 and 25, 43. 45, 48, 78. So this will be 1. Lovely. Let's look at E6. 4, 6, 10. 10, 51, 60. This will be 1. That means E5 initially was how much? 6, 7, 37, 38. How much was E7 initially? 20, 50, 55, 60, 101. And your entire table is created. Now you can go ahead and answer everything with ease. You don't need to worry. Is that clear? Is that clear? So please be on the lookout for the options. The options give you a lot of data. Are we clear till here, everyone? Clear till here? Now we can easily go ahead and answer. We can easily go ahead and answer the questions. Right? Let's look at the questions. Let's look at what the first question was. How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in the enrollment after the change process? Decrease in enrollment. 31 went to 18, so 1. 46 to 76, 36 to 79, 25 to 21, so 4. 38 went to 45 and 23 to 61. That's it. There were just 2, so the answer will be 2, which is option C. What is question 3? After the change process, which course among E1 to E6 had the largest change in its enrollment as a percentage of its original enrollment? Percentage. What are the options? E1, E2, E3, E6. E1 from 31 to 18, so that's a 13 by 31. E2 is 30 by 46, sorry. E3 is 36 to 79, that's how much? 36 and 7, 43 by 36. And final is E6, 23 to 61, that's almost 38 by 23. These are the increments. This is less than 1, less than 1. These two, 38 by 23 is more than a 150% right. More than a 150% growth. So this will be the highest, which means E6 is the highest. Clear till here, everyone? Easy? Are we clear till here, everyone? I want to hear CC till here, because the last question is equally interesting. Last question once again is equally interesting. Let's have a look at the last question. What is it? Later, the college imposed a condition that if after the change of electives, the enrollment in any elective other than E7 dropped to less than 20 students, all the students who had left that course will be required to re-enroll for the elective. Which of the following is correct? That means basically 18. E1 was the only one that fell less than 20. So anybody who moved from E1 to any other stream has to come back to E1. That's the funda. So let's see anybody who moved from E1 to whatever. E2, 5 moved, so the final for E2 will be minus 5. E10, 10 moved, final for E10 will be minus 10. E4, 1 moved, final for E4 will be minus 1. E5, 4 moved, final will be minus 4. E6, 2 moved, final will be minus 2. Now look at one thing. The order in which they had asked for the question was, which of the following is the correct sequence of electives in decreasing order? That means highest to smallest. Highest to smallest. Now one thing is very clear. Smallest was 18, but 18 gets a lot of things. 18 will get 5, 10, 1. So 18 will increase. The second smallest was 21. 21 loses 1 and becomes 20. So that means final for E4 has to be 20. Final for E4 has to be 20, which will be the lowest. Which will be the lowest. Final for E4 is 20, which is going to be the lowest. So in the decreasing order, E4 will be the lowest. Look at the options. Look at the options. Where is E4 the lowest? Only A. That's the answer. I don't even care about the others. I will not find out the value. E4 is the lowest, so A has to be the answer. Am I clear? Did you understand this set, guys? Did you understand this set, everybody? CC, samajh aaya? Understood how options can be used in DILR as well? How questions and options can be used? Samajh aaya? Clear? Should we try one more set? Should we try one more set? Let's try one more set, okay? Let's look at one more. Okay. Okay, let's look at one more. Okay? Namrata is saying no. Namrata, what didn't you understand? What didn't you understand? Utilization of options. Everything, my entire set came from 2. My entire set came from question 2. Okay? My entire set was question 2. Question 2 basically turned around and told me सब कुछ. मेरा 18 आ चुका था and 21 आ चुका था. So question 2 told me all the remaining values 76, 79, 45, 61. हो गया. उसके basis में I filled up this entire table. Once that was done, in the last question the funda was anybody who had moved from E1 to any other stream has to come back to E1. 5 people had moved from E1 to E2. They have to come back to E1. So E2 ka final becomes 76 minus these 5 and E1 gets these 5 more. 18 plus 5 ho gaya. Similarly, E3 ka final will become 79 minus this 10. E1 will get 10 more. E4 ka final will become 21 minus this 1. E1 will get 1 more. That's the funda. That's the funda. Okay? Now in that process, since the order was decreasing, I am looking either for highest or lowest. यहाँ पे lowest बहुत easy है because 21 already E4 था, loses 1% will become 20, so that has to be the lowest. Go to the options E4, जहाँ पे भी last है, that's the answer, and that last was only in option A. Clear? Cool? Yeah, main thing is to click the shortcut on D-Day. Absolutely, education. Main thing is that on D-Day, it strikes. It strikes. The shortcut strikes. If it strikes, you're done. Okay, let's look at the second set. Let's look at the second set. We'll read it together again. Let's have a read. Okay. A vending machine having 5 switches, viz means namely 1 to 5 when operated, dispenses Coca-Cola, 7-Up, Mirinda, Limca and Pepsi depending upon which switch is turned on. Okay. The machine is such that each switch dispenses 2 different drinks and each drink is dispensed by 2 different switches. Okay. So keep this in mind. The machine is such that each switch dispenses 2 different drinks and each drink is dispensed by 2 switches. That means you turn on a switch, 2 drinks निकलेगी. And each drink कोई 2 switches से निकलती है. That's basically what the question is stating. Cool, okay. If 2 or more switches are turned on, the common drink, if any, nullifies each other and will not come out. That means assume switch 1 may be Coke hai, switch 2 may be Coke hai. Both of the switches will be turned on. Coke and Coke will nullify each other. Coke will not come out. That's the funda, okay. To get the drink that one wants, he or she has to turn on the right combination of switches, put in the money and press the delivery button. ठीक है. Lovely, understood. Let's look at the additional information. Turning on switches 1 and 3, you get 7-Up and Mirinda. Now if I am switching on 2 switches and I am supposed to get 4 drinks, 2 from switch 1, 2 from switch 2, but I get only 2, that means 2 drinks were clashing. Okay? That means 1 drink was common between both 1 and 3. 1 drink was common between both switch 1 and switch 3. That is why it was clashing. Okay? 2, 4 and 5 we get 7-Up and Mirinda. Again that means there are clashes. 1 and 2 you get Coke and Pepsi. Clashes. 1 and 4 you get Limca, Coke, Mirinda, Pepsi. No clash. No clash. Okay? Okay. 3, 4 and 5 you get Coke and Pepsi. 2, 3, 5 you get Limca, Coke, Mirinda, Pepsi. Switches 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 do not supply 7-Up, Limca, Coke, Mirinda and Pepsi respectively. Perfect. No problems at all. No problems at all. Now let's go and look at the questions. Let's look at the questions. One of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 1 is 7-Up is one of the drinks that is dispensed by turning on switch. One of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 2 is which drinks are dispensed by turning on switches 2 and 3. Okay. Now wait. Now listen and think. The first question states one of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 1 is. Now when I turn on switch 1, 2 drinks come out. When I turn on switch 1, 2 drinks come out. The question states one of the drinks that will come out is. That means out of Limca, Coke, Mirinda, 7-Up, only one will come out. What are the drinks? I have Limca, Coke, Mirinda, 7-Up and Pepsi. Out of Limca, Coke, Mirinda and 7-Up, only one can come out because only one is an answer out of these 4. That means the second drink that comes out has to be Pepsi. Yes or no? Guys, that means the second drink that comes out has to be Pepsi. So the question has given me information that switch 1 से एक drink जो आती है वो तो Pepsi है guaranteed. Switch 1 से 1 drink that comes out is guaranteed Pepsi. So simple table, switches and drinks, I know switch 1 से Pepsi आती है. Clear till here? Clear till here? Cool? Switch 1 से Pepsi आती है. Easy? Let's look at the second statement. What is it? 7-Up is one of the drinks that is dispensed by turning on switch. Once again look here, I have 5 switches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7-Up will come out of one of these 4. So out of these 4, 7-Up will come in 1. That means from the 5th switch, 1 has to come out. So switch 5, 7-Up has to be there. Switch 5, 7-Up has to be there. Great. So Aditya saying mind is boggling. If your mind is boggling, go ahead and like the session. As simple as that, so that we come with more of this. I hope you are waiting for the marathons that are coming over the next 2 days. You're going to go ahead and get that. So go ahead, like the session so that you get more such sessions. Coming back to where I was. Okay, where was I? Okay, where was I? Let's look at the third one. One of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 2. Same way say. 7-Up, Mirinda, Limca, Pepsi. Coke is left. That means Coke has to come from switch 2. Go to switch 2. Coke has to come. Am I clear till here everyone? Clear till here? Everyone CC till here? Now the last one, too much information. If you look at the data, what does it state? Which drinks are dispensed by turning on 2 and 3? Too much work. Too much work. Forget it. Forget it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at additional information. इसमें सबसे पहले I'm going to look at 7 because it was giving me direct information. What was it? Switches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 do not supply. So 1 does not supply 7-Up. 2 does not supply Limca. So 1 means no 7-Up. 2 means no Limca. 3 means what? 3 means no Coke. 4 means no Mirinda. 3 means no Coke. So no Coke, no Mirinda. So 5 will be this. This also I know. Clear? Clear till here? This also I know. Okay? Now let's look at the information. 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda. Look at 1 and 3. 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda. If in 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda and 1 में 7-Up नहीं है, that means 3 has to have 7-Up. Yes or no? 1 and 3 में you get 7-Up and Mirinda, 1 में 7-Up नहीं है, 3 has to have 7-Up. Clear till here? Clear till here? Second thing, 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda, but 1 already has Pepsi. That means Pepsi का clash हुआ होगा ना? That means there is a clash of Pepsi. There has to be a clash. That means 3 also gives you Pepsi. Clear? CC? Clear? As simple as that. CC? Now because of this I know every row has to have 2 ticks by every switch say. Every switch say you will get 2 drinks, and every column also there will be 2 ticks. Why? Because every drink is out of 2 switches. Now look at third, look at switch 3. I've already got 2 ticks, so gone. Look at the last column, I've already got 2 ticks, so gone. Look at the first column, I've already got 2 ticks, so gone. Am I clear till here, everyone? Am I clear till here? Cool? Now let's look at one more additional piece of information, which is 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda. 1 and 3 you get 7-Up and Mirinda. So 1 and 3 has to be 7-Up and Mirinda. Okay, so that means Mirinda has to surely come from 1. Mirinda has to surely come from 1, like you all stated. Mirinda is 1 for sure. Mirinda is 1 for sure. So look at the first column, look at the first row, 2 ticks come, gone. Am I clear till here? Now look at the second row. Look at the second row, only 2 spaces left. Only 2 spaces left, have to be tick. कुछ सोचना ही नहीं. Look at the fourth row, only 2 spaces left, has to be tick. Now look at the fourth column under Mirinda, 2 ticks have come, this has to be cross. Look at under Coca-Cola, 2 ticks have come, that has to be crossed. Look at Limca, second tick, done. As simple as done. Table done. I did not even need to read the following. I did not read this, did not read this, did not read this, did not read this. I read only 3 statements and I read the options. I read 3 statements and the options. Clear? Easy? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, yes or no? Come on, you have to agree, this was easy. So look at options, they give data. Now let's look at the questions. Shouldn't take too much time. Let's look at the questions. What do they state? One of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 1, we just found out Mirinda hai. Okay? As simple as that. Cool. Next one, 7-Up is one of the drinks that is dispensed by turning on which switch? If I am not wrong, if my memory serves me right, it was 3. Yup, 7-Up is switch 3. 7-Up is switch 3. So switch 3. One of the drinks which is dispensed by turning on switch 2. Turning on switch 2, as far as I remember, Mirinda. Am I right? Switch 2, Mirinda and Coke. Yup, Mirinda. Gone. What drinks are dispensed by turning on switches 2 and 3? Look at switches 2 and 3. I get Coke, Mirinda, 7-Up and Pepsi. Basically I get 4. I get 4 drinks. There is only one option with 4 drinks, D, that has to be the answer. Clear? Maza aaya? Maza aaya ki nahi? Is it fun or not? And this is exactly what LID I can give you. You know, in general, in a class, we turn around and say 4 sets hote hain. We've gone ahead and solved 2 sets in a matter of 29 minutes because you all are studs. Because at the end of the day, we have understood the fact that options will give me a lot of content. Options will help me make table and solve them. Easy? Easy? Shresht is saying sheer sorcery this is. Okay? No real sorcery. Just taking a little bit of logic. That's about it. Okay? Maza aaya? दिमाग उधार कब देंगे यार, कितने में लेना है बताओ. It has to be a good bargain, right? But yeah, this is not dimag, this is nothing. All of you all have it, trust me. If I turn around and I tell you, that you have 2 hours to go ahead and do DILR, तुम भी कर लोगे. ठीक है, देयर इज नो बिग डील, एवरीबडी विल डू इट. प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड की जरूरत है, थोड़ा स्ट्रेस कम करने की जरूरत है. एंड दैट्स व्हाट द रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ टुडेज सेशन इज ऑल अबाउट, हेल्पिंग यू अंडरस्टैंड. स्ट्रेस थोड़ा कम करना है. Varun is saying, sir, can I skip games and tournaments? My recommendation, don't. I actually have a slide on a couple of those things. Let's move to the second part of today's session, which is, let's talk about what is in store, what is it that you should be doing over the next 7 days, and finally what to do on D-Day. Okay, I hope you're liking the session. Go ahead, my team is telling me there aren't enough likes. I thought the session was good. Go like it, come on. And let's quickly move to the next part, which is expectations. Okay, so what do I believe, and this is me, personally me, all of this is going to be my take, which is what do I think the pattern will be, what do I think paper wise LOD will be, or section wise LOD, and so on and so forth. So don't turn around and state, you'll hold me at knife edge or something like that. This is my take, basis my understanding, what we've seen in CAT over the last 8-9 years specifically, and predominantly over the last 2 years since it's gone ahead and become a 2-hour paper. So last year CAT paper pattern, you already know what it was, right? You know it was 24, 20, 22. You know the previous year as well, I don't need to get into it. You know it was 76 questions there as well, right? So you know all of this. Last year 66, year before that 76, you are aware, correct? Now, in that, the marking scheme was as follows, which is +3, -1, 0 marks, non-attempted, everything is known, forget this. The important part is, what did the sample paper go ahead and show? The sample paper this year has once again shown 66. Now, my recommendation to you is, don't read too much into this. Last year the sample paper showed 76, CAT gave 66. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. So sample paper के बलबूते पे कुछ नहीं होता. Sample paper is not going to turn around and tell you that this is going to be the paper pattern. Sample paper is all about helping you understand the interface. It is not about the paper pattern. So 66 hoga is not a guarantee. So please don't go ahead and read too much into this. Some key changes that can happen on D-Day. First and foremost, in order to understand the interface, please go here and check it out. I hope you've gone to imcat.ac.in. Under the quick links part, you've gone ahead and seen the sample paper, new, clicked on it, PDF comes, click it, go ahead and take it. Okay? Go ahead and do all of that. See the sample paper, understand what the interface is, that is very, very important. Okay? Now, total number of questions on D-Day might be lower than 66, might be greater than 66, we have no idea. Less, more, we don't know, it could be anything. Sectional composition of questions can vary, level of difficulty can vary. So, my take on what you can go ahead and expect on D-Day is as follows. I have taken a very safe bet, which is the range is 64 to 76. इसके बीच में questions आएंगे. My gut feel अगर मैं बोलता हूँ, I think CAT has hit a very, very sweet spot. The number of questions will be between 66 to 70. उससे ज़्यादा change नहीं होगा. I don't think more than 3 to 4 questions here or there. That's about it. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, 66 to 70 is what I feel. MCQ, non-MCQ का breakup will predominantly be almost the same. As you can see, it is almost in the range of about 28 to 30% of the paper is non-MCQ. That is what is going to go ahead and continue. Section wise time limit will not change. It will be 40. It will be 40. So whatever was covered in the All India Open Mocks of BYJU'S close to the actual CAT, absolutely. Some of those papers have been set by yours truly yourself. We've sat down with the team and done a lot of that. So if you've not taken the All India Open Mock, go ahead and take it. We've given 3-4 of those. It should be along those lines. The expected pattern is along those lines. The level of difficulty is also expected along those lines. However, I will say mock 17, which was the last open mock, was slightly difficult. Okay, so according to me, it might be similar to say a mock 10 or so. If you've not taken, go ahead and take the mock 10. I think that's predominantly what you would go ahead and see. Okay, in CAT 10 and 13 is something to look at. Marking scheme will remain the same, +3, -1, 0. So once again I will repeat, my gut feel 66 to 70 questions is what you will see in CAT. DILR में ज़्यादा change नहीं देखोगे. It will be close. This is I think a typo. This should have been 20 to 22. DILR में you will see roughly about 20 questions. I don't think it will change a lot. Okay. In terms of verbal, 24 to 26 का range, quant 22 to 24 का range, predominantly what I expect. Few things that I want you all to keep in mind which have changed this year basis the interface. Number one, This has not changed, this has always been there, but it is important. And let me change the color of my pen to make it easier for you to see. Look at this. Please note only one writing pad will be provided to you. Now keep this in mind. They have categorically stated only one writing pad. Now the writing pad is small, okay? इतने size का होता है, इतने size का. उसमें pages बहुत होते हैं. There are a lot of pages. Do not worry that the number of pages will be lesser. However, please keep in mind extra will not come. So plan accordingly. Generally, I have never used more than half of the writing pad. So one should be more than enough. I don't think it's a problem, but please keep this in mind. It's clearly mentioned in the instructions. A4 size नहीं है. A4 size नहीं है. A4 से छोटा होता है. A4 से छोटा होता है. ठीक है? It's smaller than an A4 size paper. वो small, pads होते हैं ना, pads, writing pads. It's almost like a writing pad. ठीक है? It is an actual writing pad. It's not like a copy or a book, nor a paper. It's a pad. वो जो pad आते हैं. It's exactly like that. ठीक है? Okay. Next thing. On-screen calculator will be there. Anybody who was worried about that, don't be worried. It's going to be there. Another thing that I think you all should keep in mind is understand what a purple with the green at the bottom means. That means you've answered, okay, but you've marked it for review. So this one is always taken into consideration. This one is always taken into consideration in terms of marks. People who are asking whether it is ruled or plain, it is completely plain, it's not ruled. It is completely plain, it's not ruled. Are we allowed to tear up pages of the notepad during examination required, maybe for DILR? No, you are not. If they see you tearing pages, they will feel you are cheating and you want to take it outside, so they will not allow you to do it. So be very, very careful, okay? Okay? What all you have to carry, I'm going to talk about that education world, okay? A little later. Just give me a few minutes, okay? Okay, so that was the point, that was point number 1 regarding the interface. Few more things that I want you all to have a look at, okay? First and foremost, please keep in mind, save and next karna zaruri hai. There are many people who over the years have come back and stated a few questions, and when this generally comes up, imagine in VARC, I did the first RC, then I moved to the third RC instead of second, then I moved to verbal, and then I'm coming back to the second RC. Ab hota kya, when you're skipping so much, when you come back to the second RC, you forget save and next. Or sometimes in quant, I like to start from the end. I will start with question number 22, then 21, 20. Don't forget, 22 के बाद save and next करना है. And save and next करके automatically it will not move to the next screen. So you will have to come back to 21 after that. So please keep that in mind. Save and next is very important. Student, don't do save and next in 2-3 questions. Bekar mein 9 marks go. They come out and state when the response sheet comes out, I marked this question, it's not there. There is a problem with the CAT interface. वो नहीं होता. आपने save and next नहीं किया. So please be very, very careful. ठीक है? That's one. Next, your answer to a question will not be same if you navigate directly to the next question without save or next. Please keep that in mind, okay? The next part, which is very, very important, is this question paper button. Now, I utilize it a lot. So Pragya is saying I have suffered from this a lot. So it's my habit now to check twice. That means, that's why I'm telling you folks, there are people who do that. Save and next nahi kiya, bhul gaye. Please don't do that. Don't miss out on it, okay? The question paper button is a real lifesaver. However, this year there is a problem. With the question paper button, and I'll tell you what. Let's quickly move. Let's look at the interface. Now this is your interface, okay? This is your interface. If you look at this interface, predominantly everything is exactly like last year. The question paper button comes here, right on top, right next to the view instruction button. Now the problem this time is, which at least last year I did not face, was the problem is when you click on the question paper button and the screen that pops up, there are no options. There are no options along with the questions. Generally every year along with the question the option was also there, so you could solve it aram se and then you could go back. ये close कर दो question paper button यहाँ से, go back and tick the answer. Here the options are not there. That's a major problem. So the question paper button might be good to read an RC, but might not be ideal to read the RC and then look at the question and then साथ साथ ऊपर नीचे करो. They've made it slightly difficult. So CAT is playing games. So please keep that in mind. That use the question paper button to read the RC, but after that close, go back, look at the question, come back. So there's a little bit of extra work to do. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, how to see entire RC paragraph on single interface, like what I've just done through the question paper button. You click on it and see it. Here I've scrolled down to show the questions as well to make a point, but generally in here you'll be able to see a lot of it. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next one. Similarly, the options are not even there in DILR and quant. The options are not even there in DILR and quant. Now that's a major problem. That's a major problem. So please keep this in mind that the question paper button is not going to show you option basis the interface of CAT this year. Okay, very, very important. So you will need to keep coming back to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. Keep that in mind. Now let's look at the section wise paper pattern, the expected paper pattern, and what is it that we can go ahead and expect. Now if you look at the last 2 years, here you have last 3 years, forget 2019, not very important. I'll get back to my orange ink pen. Okay, 2019 not important, 3-hour paper doesn't matter, only 2-hour papers matters. So look at 2020 and 2021. A 99 percentile is always in this range, 42 to 45. Questions, you know, 26 hua hai, right? In 2021, as you know, the number of questions were 26. In 2022, the number of questions were 26. So please keep that in mind. 26 means 78. So roughly 60%. Roughly 60% is what you need to score a 99. Now those of you who are not very good at English and are only looking at sectional cutoffs, please keep in mind IIM Lucknow has come out with its criteria, right? And the Lucknow criteria states sectional 85 percentile chahiye. That means you actually need to score somewhere around 25 marks. So if you score 25, 26 plus in VARC, your sectional cutoffs for every college will be handled. Your sectional cutoff for every college would be handled. Okay? Varun is saying, so if options are not there, how will you mark it? You will mark it without moving to the question paper screen. Without moving to the question paper. So if I just go back, this is the initial interface, right? Without touching on question paper, here are the options. Say, ye answer hai, mark 1, go save next and move on. Samajh aaya? Samajh aaya, Varun? So just keep that in mind. That is very, very important. Getting back to where I was, as I was stating, please keep in mind that 25 plus is what you should aim. Those who are saying I'm looking at 100 percentile because this is my area of strength, I'm looking at as high as possible, look at a greater than equal to 60. That will be close to 100 percentile. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Greater than equal to 60 is what you are focusing on. Okay? Okay. 60%, as I said, marks predominantly what you are looking at for a 99. One thing which I want to tell everybody, please don't change your strategy. Okay? Now, my way of generally going ahead and doing verbal, I sometimes state that in my mock attempts as well, is RC, VA I like to do, and in RCs also I first like to look at all RC, look at the genre, the type, and thereby decide the priority order in which I want to do it. Now imagine if some of you start with VA. Please don't change the way you attempt the paper right now. If you start with VA, stick to VA, RC uske baad. Experimentation time is over. You barely have about 6-7 days to go. No experimentation, that's it, chill maro. जो कर रहे थे वही करना है, ठीक है? So please don't change that at all. Let's move to DILR. In DILR, once again over the last 2 years, we've seen 99 about 33, 34, right? It's not really changed a lot, predominantly been in the same range. Last year, 20 questions, the year before that, 24 questions, but 99 percentile didn't change. What does that mean? That means last year DILR was easy. Last year DILR was easier than 2020. 2021 DILR was easier than 2020. My take, I think this year DILR might be slightly trickier. This year DILR might be slightly trickier. It might be slightly more difficult as compared to last year. It will be similar to 2020 in my opinion. And if I am not wrong, the first set that I picked up from today's session is actually a CAT 2019-2020 set. So it's very, very similar to those lines. Keep an eye out for options. There will be a lot of data that will come from there. Okay? My take, I guess 20 to 22 questions, not more than that. 4 sets is a guarantee. You will not get 5 sets or more. In 40 minutes, 5 sets will not happen. In 40 minutes, 5 sets will not happen. It will surely be 4 sets, nothing more than that. 20 to 22 questions. Roughly, as I said, about 55 to 57% of the total marks is 99. So DILR में आपका क्या strategy होता है? Okay. My strategy in DILR, have you all gone ahead and seen my mock attempts, guys? This is for everybody. Have you all gone ahead and seen my mock attempts? I have taken 2 mock attempts, mock 10 and mock 13. Have you all gone ahead and seen my mock attempts? Because that's what my strategy is. Hence, I am asking categorically. If you've seen my mock attempt, if you've not seen it, my recommendation, go ahead and see it, please. It's on the BYJU'S Exam Prep app. Look at mock 10 and mock 13 specifically on the app. Okay, 10 and 13. That is All India mock 2 and All India mock 3. My thing, and some of you all who've seen my mock attempts would have seen, I take the first 6 to 8 minutes to slowly get into the paper, go through every set, look at the genre, look at the type of sets that have come up, look at the questions, how many theta, how many not theta, how many if then kind of sets, how many sets which are which have questions from where I can take up the data, and so on and so forth. I take 6 to 8 minutes to go through all the sets and identify the priority order. Then I go ahead and solve DILR basis the priority order. Now if you don't do that, don't do it now. Okay? If you don't do it now, if you've not done it, don't do it now, too late to change it. But go ahead and look at it, it might help you. All of this is on the app, my mock attempts, have a look at it. ठीक है? Somebody saying sir मेरा VA नहीं लग रहा, हमेशा गलत हो जाता है. यार VA का एक ट्रिक दूं, एक ट्रिक. VA में in general पैराजंबल में जो टीटा क्वेश्चन आता है, पैराजंबल में टीटा, पैराजंबल नॉन MCQ क्वेश्चन, one of the answers generally always is a 4231 or 4132. Some of you all who've seen me take the mock attempts would have seen when I don't have a lot of time, I just randomly guess this in the theta questions of parajumbles, and it ends up getting me 1 or 2 questions right. I end up getting 1 or 2 questions right. So 4231 and 4132 generally हमेशा एक तो होता है. I'll saying I did that I always do that. These are 2 which I always keep in mind. Always. I have gone ahead and seen this multiple number of times in CAT over the last few years. ठीक है? अगर गुरुजी लग रहा है तो जाके लाइक ठोको ना, like नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू, this is okay. यार वाव मत बोलो, नहीं चला कैट में आके मेरे को गाली दोगे. But yeah, the funda at the end of the day is it's a game of probability, right? It's a game of probability. I can only help in that. Anyways जाके कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे, anyways जाके वो question attempt नहीं होता, anyways you didn't have the time, take a punt. This will turn around and hopefully help you. Even if you get 1 right, 3 marks is humongous, right? 3 marks is humongous. ठीक है? Okay, out of question, just your LinkedIn profile, notice you've also worked as a trader at Optiver post IIMC, which is great. I didn't think it was possible when I know. Is their profile still possible? Okay, so couple of things. Number one, Optiver only comes to IIM Calcutta to recruit. So if you're interested in Optiver, IIM Calcutta is the only place that you should be looking at. From an MBA perspective, Optiver does not hire from anywhere else. In my year, there were 2 students who were chosen, one for the Amsterdam office, one for the Chicago. I was lucky enough in more ways than one to go to the Amsterdam office. You samajhdar ko ishara kafi types, so it was good fun. Trading was fun, algorithmic trading is fun, but I always wanted to get into education. So the objective was very simple: go there, have fun, work a little, understand how it works, and then just quickly come back to what I want to do. Okay? So that's the funda. It is possible. So if you're interested in Optiver and interested in Amsterdam, IIM Calcutta needs to be the goal. IIM Calcutta percentile weightage is very high. Go ahead and look at scoring anywhere in the range of 99.8 plus and you have a good chance. ठीक है? As simple as that. ठीक है? ऐसा trick OOD को भी बता दो यार, वो नहीं होता, because OOD for all you know is actually an MCQ question, right? It is MCQ. All options are there. अब उसमें कुछ है नहीं. अब उसमें कोई trick नहीं है. ठीक है? Sir, should I watch the analysis of slot 1 if we're going for slot 3? Everybody who's in slot 2 and 3, do not watch the analysis for slot 1. However, at 11:30, I am going to come with a session, a live session for 15 minutes, which is our first take, the first take on what was there in slot 1. So if you can catch me at 11:30 for about 10 minutes, where I will go ahead and talk a little bit about slot 1 without scaring slot 2 and slot 3 guys. I will not talk about cutoffs or anything. I will just give basic information which will help you prepare better for slot 2 and 3. ठीक है? Don't watch the analysis of slot 1 full fledged. उसमें हम questions बोलेंगे, ये बोलेंगे, वो बोलेंगे. समझो वो question आपसे नहीं हो रहा, you're not able to do, you lose confidence. So don't do all of that. ठीक है? Cool. In 6-day time, will it be safe side to give mocks? What should be the last 6 days? Varun, I'll get to that. I have an entire section called 7-day strategy. ठीक है? आपका CAT कितने attempts में clear हुआ था IIM Calcutta के लिए? I mean, how many years? First attempt यार. 2010 I finished my undergrads. After that I was actually looking at going abroad to go ahead and do applied mathematics. Things didn't work out. I got to know in 2021 around March that I cannot go because of certain issues in terms of the cost. So because we come from a middle class family, all of them are there, not something that I could go ahead and afford at that point in time. So ठीक है, I said no big deal. So 2021 March April I got to know that. I was like ठीक है, a lot of friends write CAT is all about math and puzzles and stuff, I like it. So that's when I started. It was my first attempt, and actually I've never gotten that percentile ever. After that, I got 99.97 in my first attempt, never ever gotten that percentile. So probably first attempt was the best, never reached there ever at that percentile level. But yeah, so those who are asking, that's about it. Usse zyada mujhe aage nahi jana. Let's focus on the things that we are doing, which is basically what is it that DILR will have in store. Score for 99.8 plus, if you're asking, last year 120 plus was about 99.9. So I will say 117, 118 aega. Yep, 99.8 plus, a very, very good chance. 115 plus, you are in a good place. Okay? Cool. Arpan, didn't know HFT firms hire from anywhere else than IITians. Also, IIMC favoring bit of gems. Still, so chance for us. We'll try for it. These are just pinnacles. Yeah, but you know, I'm a non-engineer who ended up at IIM Calcutta. So there's no such thing that only engineers can go there. Even non-engineers can make it to IIM Cal. Non-engineers can make it everywhere. Put your best foot forward, you'll be there. That's it. As simple as that. Okay. Now let's come back here. Should I apply for MICA? If you're interested in marketing, specifically oriented to advertising, MICA is a killer place to be in. Matlab, if you think Yashraj mein jana hai, you know, Red Chillies mein jana hai and all, MICA is the only place that comes and recruits for these places. So if you're interested, go ahead and give it a go. Okay? Coming back here. Let's look at QA. QA, predominantly, if you look at last year, you know, the number of questions were lesser. Unlike DILR, the marks also reduced. For a 99 percentile, went down to 35, 36. Overall, over the years, it has always remained somewhere around the 60% mark, 57 to 60% of the total marks, you will get it done. Now, one thing to keep in mind was, when it comes to quant, arithmetic and algebra are the key. Now, in the last session, I did a lot of questions, if you remember. In my last session on quant, if you've not gone ahead and look at it, smart techniques to ace quant, go ahead and look at it in the last lap itself. I went ahead and I solved and I showcased to you that algebra is nothing but arithmetic from -2 to 2. So arithmetic and algebra, and if you look at a couple of things, 80 percentile at 12 to 16, matlab 4 to 5 questions, that's it. 4 to 5 questions में 80 percentile आ रहा है, 6 to 7 questions में 90 percentile आ रहा है, and I can give it, guarantee देता हूँ. I will write it on a blank piece of paper and I'll give it to you right now. There will be at least 4 to 5 questions where you can go ahead and you know, apply the techniques I've explained in quant. That means 80 percentile to guaranteed only from the techniques I've spoken about. So please keep an eye open and you'll get that. So I generally get a 98 to 105 BYJU'S marks. How do I push in that extra 5-10 marks? See, 98 to 105 is good. Extra 5-10 marks will be the techniques. The techniques I've discussed in DILR today, the techniques I discussed in quant earlier. If there are just 2 more questions that you can get, you're done. And one way of pushing by 5 or 6 marks is stating 2 questions which I was getting wrong, if I can get right, -1 moves to 3. That is -1 moves to 3, that's 4 marks. So 4 plus 4, 8 marks. 8 marks बढ़ जाएगा, please keep that in mind. Okay? My specific tips for algebra and arithmetic predominantly is, when the paper begins in quant, this has again been a gut feel and something that I follow. I always go ahead and solve the second half of the paper before the first half. That means if there are say 22 questions, I will start from question number 12. 12 se 22 jaunga and then I will come back. I generally realize, I don't know, probably they have something against me, but generally in the way the paper is set for me, the latter half has more easy questions or easier questions than the first half. So I always like to begin with the second half of the paper. I've always stated this. Second half of the paper to me in quant is always easier. Okay, so that is one thing which I always state. Second thing which I'm going to talk about in quant, specifically from from arithmetic and algebra is, please go ahead and use substitution. Please go ahead, use options. Please don't shy away. Please don't shy away from it at all. Okay? Sir, if I get good score in quant and DLR but my score goes down in verbal by 70, then also there's a chance to get some good college, non-MBA colleges, get some non-MBA, do you mean non-IIM colleges? See, 70 percentile, you don't want to be in that range. Yaar, 80 percentile chahiye. 80 percentile ke liye you basically need 21 plus. On an off day also, how do you get to a 20 plus needs to be the funda. Even if you're having a bad day, 20 plus jana yaar. Don't get into this mentality of can I get, you will get, trust me, you will get some good non-IIM for sure. But usme jana hi nahi hai. The mentality over the next 7 days is I am a stud dude. मेरे से सब होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मेरे से नहीं होगा. In those, 40 minutes of every section, I'm an absolute stud. There is nothing to worry about. And I constantly state this. In quant, If you are not very good, even then you will score 90 because you need 7-8 questions. If I tell you have 40 minutes for 7-8 questions, 90% of you all will get it right. Identify the question. Latter half से शुरू करो तब आगे आओ. Geometry नहीं होता छोड़ दो. Geometry में if you can solve a question using the tricks I've spoken about, great. नहीं होता छोड़ दो. Don't worry about it. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. ठीक है? Second, please don't go ahead and worry a lot about permutation, combination, probability. Max एक question आएगा. Don't worry about it. How many questions in each section is required to be correct for 99? Swarnalata, 99 percentile generally overall marks. You would need about 97 to 100. That means overall if I'm looking at 99 percentile, you're basically looking at about 33 net correct. So go ahead and do how you want to do it basis that. Okay. Now, some mantras which I want to give for VARC, I always state read. One thing which I want to talk about here is, in general, सर लास्ट ईयर कंपैरिजन में स्कोर वर्सेस प्रेजेंट में ज्यादा चेंज होने के चांसेस है क्या? लाइव 30 मार्क्स इन VARC फॉर 80 नहीं होगा. 25 से ज्यादा विल नॉट बी फॉर 80 परसेंटाइल, दैट्स अ गारंटी. ठीक है? 80 to 85 percentile. Last year 80 percentile was in the vicinity of close to about 48 to 50 marks. Okay, so net correct of 16-17 questions. Keep that in your mind. Coming back to what I'm stating, guys, verbal is going to be the first section. In that first section, it's predominantly all about reading. There are going to be 4 RCs. Please keep in mind that you need to start reading from ball 1. So it's like cricket. I'm going into ball. You can't turn around and say मैं पहले 3 delivery practice ball दूंगा. Batsman भी खुश practice ball है out नहीं होगा, bowler भी खुश practice ball है wide नहीं होगा, 4 नहीं होगा, 6 नहीं होगा. वो नहीं होता. The practice has to happen before. The warm up has to happen before. Do all of that before coming into the exam. Thus, the 10 to 15 minute tutorial, the instructions, read every single word, comprehend, understand everything. Get into the momentum of reading when the instructions come on your screen. उससे पहले 30 minutes before that when you will be in the exam hall, screen will be blank. Clock भी नहीं होती. So you have no idea what is happening, watch is not allowed. So you're actually sitting there on vrat like this, doing nothing, looking at people with tense faces around you, some wearing masks, some not wearing. You will think table is dirty, not dirty, looking at the computer hoping today is a good day. Get all those thoughts out of your mind. Don't worry, just look forward to reading the instructions, getting into the mode of reading before you get into the actual paper. Please do that. You don't want to spend the first 5 minutes of the verbal section getting into the reading part. You don't need that. Okay. Where in the app can you find mock analysis? I think the team has just stated, go ahead and do that. I didn't get a good percentile, so I can target some medium level college like FMS, BHU. Yes, you can for sure. Don't worry about all of that. Okay? But don't worry about all of this right now. Next 7 days, just think, मेरा को आएगा यार best percentile. नहीं आएगा then we are there ना. We'll tell you क्या करना है. अभी don't worry. अभी positive mindset. Negativity आना ही नहीं है. रग में there is no negativity, no nothing, आने नहीं देना, only positivity. So please forget it. ठीक है? 21 out of the 54 passages last 5 years, Aeon, NYT, Guardian, Smithsonian. Even now, read. Every single day, read. Go ahead, go to these websites, read as much as possible. Get into that rigmarole. Ensure that you are in the mode. Genres: sociology, anthropology, science, technology, zoology. You are aware of all of this. We've spoken about all of this. So does SPGN have second round of admission after CAT? Yes, some people end up getting a call which is the profile based call. That call comes very quickly. It generally even comes before the CAT percentile, comes way before that. Students, however, if you don't get an 85 percentile and you don't clear the sectional cutoff, even after the interview you can be ineligible. The SPGen second round calls, which are non-profile based calls, will come later. They'll come after your CAT result in about the second week of January, third week. The second round results are also a mixture of profile plus score. So for example, like me, my profile wasn't that great. So even at a 99.97, I got no SPGen because my 10, 12 undergrads were not that great. I'm from Calcutta University. You don't get a lot of marks. Even then I didn't get it. So if your profile is decent, you have a good chance of getting it. Okay? Okay. Score versus percentile, so I've gone ahead and explained number of times, but I have a slide coming, so I'll talk about that as well. Okay. Then, sources for PJOS, we've gone ahead and spoken a lot about all of this. Generally, it comes from books and magazines, so keep that in mind. But in verbal, predominant thing that I'm going to state is, even in RCs, go ahead, look at all the RCs and identify the order in which you want to do. So, rough paper le jaane ki wahi dega, wahi denge tanu, they will give you a पैड, एंड एक ही पैड मिलेगा, एक्स्ट्रा नहीं मिलेगा. I stated it in the beginning. 998 non-engineer profile is decent, you have a chance. PhD from IIM ABC, worth it absolutely if you want a faculty position later, or you want to get into post PhD, you want to get into say different kinds of roles, say data analytics, and specifically for people doing an IT ops sort of a role, there are roles there as well. But if you want to get into teaching and stuff, for sure 100% it's a good place. Okay, for DILR, some of the tricks, some of the things. According to me, accuracy, not attempt. It's all about accuracy. Most important, questions, not sets. If there is a 6 question set, you've started solving, options देख के कुछ समझ आ रहा है, टेबल में कुछ डाल के 3-4 क्वेश्चन मिल गए, बाकी जो 2 क्वेश्चन है are if then based, the rest 2 are if then based. No. If they seem difficult, it will take time, you can leave it. 4 questions out of 6 answered, 12 marks in the pocket, move ahead to the next set. You do not always need to attempt every single question from a set. Some of the questions take a lot of time, you don't need to do that. Please keep that in mind. Questions over set always. Okay? Safe score for FABM depends on profile, but generally a 97 plus you have a good chance. You cannot apply for SPGen after CAT. No, application forms will not open again. Second time application form tier 1 से तो एकदम ही नहीं खुलता. एकदम नहीं खुलता. So all the forms that have opened up, go ahead and apply. Don't wait and hope that it will open again. That won't happen. Now, some of you all who were talking about, I will leave games and tournaments, can't happen. My recommendation, these are the most important topics: matrix, reasoning based DI, Venn diagrams, unconventional games and tournaments, even conventional games and tournaments. These are the most important. Games and tournaments, Venn diagrams, reasoning based DI, matrix. सबसे ज़्यादा important ये है. I'm getting scores in the range 60-80. Accuracy is good. Number of attempted question not so good. Any tip on how to get marks without compromising the accuracy? Your accuracy is good, Nandan, means your speed is a little low. Can't really do a lot over the last 6-7 days. Only thing I can state is probably stop spending a lot of time on questions which are not from your areas of strength. So try being better at picking questions. So say for example, it comes from hypothetically say geometry is something you don't like, I don't like. So geometry question comes, 3D geometry, don't even read, don't waste time on it. Quickly move to the next one, start doing that. In quant, you can try what I stated, second half before first half. Those kind of things you can try. Okay? Any idea about FMS cutoff for SC? Generally about 75-80 percentile plus, and you should be good to go. Okay? Generally you should be good to go. Acing these will help you solve 8 to 12 questions and focus on options like I discussed today. This is predominantly about DILR. Focus on questions rather than sets, focus on options. Answer is going to come from here. Please keep that in mind. Okay? EWS, FMS. So generally my thumb rule is EWS cutoff is almost more or less always in sync with OBC, other than a couple of places. So OBC ka jo cutoff hoga wahi hoga. That means if you are scoring about 94-95 plus, you generally have a good chance. Okay? QA. Again, you can cross 95 plus easily without attempting anything in numbers and geometry. Arithmetic and algebra is all that is important. Concept based questions rather than formula based. Spoken about this a lot even in the previous one. ठीक है. If something becomes difficult, Varun, ठीक है यार, जरूरी नहीं है games and tournament will come in your slot, not much that you can do. One thing that I can recommend is in the recorded lectures that you will find on the app, if you're a paid student of BYJU'S, you will go ahead and see there are a lot of recorded lectures that I have recorded in DILR and Quant. I have recorded specifically for games and tournaments. In that games and tournaments, in conventional games and tournaments, there are 1 or 2 videos. Go ahead and look at that. That will go ahead and help you. I have gone ahead and spoken about how round robin sets are to be looked at, what is the shortcut 2 to the power n minus 1 and stuff like that. There are certain shortcuts there. Look at it, it might help you. Important topics to revise in the 7-day Shaik in DILR I have already spoken about. Venn diagram, matrix, games and tournaments and stuff like that. I have already spoken about it in the previous slide. Good score for FMS or IIT Delhi, primarily looking to stay in Delhi. FMS, if you are general category, 99.5 plus bare minimum. Ensure verbal is good because verbal gets 40% weightage. Okay? IIT Delhi, you have a good chance at a 97.5 plus, 98 plus to be safe. And algebra equals arithmetic. I have spoken about this. Algebra is nothing but arithmetic from -2 to 2. I have spoken about this. Please keep in mind, wahin se aayega. Some of you were talking about score versus percentile. This is the table for score versus percentile. If you look at 70 percentile, last 2 years 36 पे ही रहे. 12 questions. 80 percentile, as I said, 48 के आसपास, 45 to 49, roughly about 16 questions. So 12 questions, 16 questions. 85 percentile, if you look at it, 17 to 18, let's say 18 questions. 90 percentile, about 20 to 21 questions. 95 moves to about 25, 26 questions. 99, I would say roughly about 33 questions. And look at this, last year the number of questions went down from 76 to 66, but 99 came down. 99 came down, 99 percentile reduced. That means lesser number of questions does not mean paper is easy, paper could be tougher. So if the number of questions change, do not worry, it could be good news as well. Tension nahi lene ka boss. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Okay? Another thing to keep in mind, 99 percentile, as I state, generally always hover around the 50% total marks. Earlier 2019-18 around 52, in 2020 45, last year 49. So 50% of the total marks ले लो, काम हो जाएगा. ठीक है? ठीक है? At least one IIT 95 plus. If you are looking at IITs like Bombay, Delhi and stuff, Delhi 98 plus, Bombay look at 99 plus for sure. NITI 98.5, 99 should get you there. ठीक है? How to improve speed? यार अब बहुत difficult है speed in DILR, but Joydeep, just the way I spoke about it little bit today, which is start looking at options, start looking at hints in options, start looking at the untold information which is there in options and in the data, and try doing that. Har time full table banana might not be important. That's all that I can recommend. Second, in the beginning of the paper, go ahead and spend some time looking at all the sets to identify which set to begin with and which to move to next. But if you've not done this till now, this latter, leave it. ठीक है, छोड़ देना चाहिए. Yes, there are a couple of IITs which take non-engineers, not all, a couple. Okay. One thing which I want you all to keep in mind, यार worst to worst days, keep in mind, CAT में competition कम है at the lower end, competition only increases at the upper end. So if things are not going basis how you plan, keep your chill. For all you know, many others are suffering. You can make it up in the next section. In that particular section where you are not going ahead and you are struggling a little, just ensure you clear the cutoff. 85 percentile plus ले आने की कोशिश करो. That's about it in every section. ठीक है? IMB set question difficult for quant DI as compared to VRC. I'm just coming to that. In terms of level of difficulty, what do I expect? Generally, verbal is expected to be slightly more difficult in IIM Bangalore paper, but I don't think that will be the case this year. When I say difficult, I think the passages won't be difficult to read. However, the options might be slightly tricky in verbal, so keep an eye out for that. My personal take, I think quant will be similar to last year, but DILR will be slightly tougher than last year. I think DILR will be similar to what you saw in 2020. So if you find it to be slightly difficult, tension nahi. जितना ज़्यादा difficult होता है, उतना better for everybody who has prepped. 70 percentile is at 36. That means 70% of the janta is just there to make up numbers. I constantly repeat that. Hence, if it's a difficult paper, then your percentile will scale a lot at lower marks. So ideally, difficult papers work in the favor of those who have prepped seriously. So don't worry too much. Okay? Let's move to the next part, which is CAT D-Day. What to expect on CAT Day? What is it that you should do? Some of the do's and don'ts, and what are the common challenges? Let's have a look at these two things. Okay? Too many questions that I've done. जिसने अभी तक like नहीं किया, like करो. मेरे को let me take a sigh of relief, a breath of fresh air. I've been talking non-stop. Okay? Go like right now. I want to talk about this further. Okay, enough. Let's move ahead. Do's and don'ts. Okay, let's have a look at the do's and don'ts. Please keep this in mind. All documents must be ready. Admit card, ID proof. Very, very important. In that admit card, you would have seen on the second page, there is a self-declaration form regarding COVID. Please ensure you fill it up. Please ensure you fill it up. Okay. Sir, what do you do when you're stuck between two options RC? Like you know, one of them is surely the answer. Pragya, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. Every person on this planet always gets stuck between two options in RC. Just go for the one which is less generalized. That's it. Even then, sometimes it will turn out to be an error. It's okay. VARC is one place where I don't focus on accuracy, I focus on attempt. My aim generally is, if I can attempt all 24 or all 26, I'll be happy. Generally, if I can attempt all 24 or all 26, I'm in a good place. If my accuracy is even 60-62%, I'm more than happy. I don't care. Because verbal में 95 plus भी आ जाएगा, I'm on top of the world. Because DILR and quant, I'm confident कि 99 plus regularly आना चाहिए. ठीक है? पैन कार्ड मत लेके जाना, पैन कार्ड हैज क्रिएटेड प्रॉब्लम्स प्रीवियसली. प्लीज टेक आधार, प्लीज टेक ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस, प्लीज टेक वोटर आईडी, दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. पासपोर्ट, पैन कार्ड मत लेके जाना. इफ यू नो इफ दे कैच यू दैट विल बी एन इशू. ठीक है. Should we revise previous year or go through revisions? Yeah, I'm just going to talk about what should be your plan over the last 7 days. So my personal recommendation to you over the last 7 days is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These 5 days में Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sorry, these 4 days में write about 2 to 3 mocks. Sorry, in these 4 days write about 2 to 3 mocks. Monday to Thursday write about 2 to 3 mocks. Thursday and Friday no mocks. Thursday and Friday just look at the notebook that you might have, which might have the formulae, which might have important concepts, some questions that you have identified, some questions where the trick is something that you saw in a video or somebody told you and you've made a note of it. Go through all of that. ठीक है. Original लेके जाना है, no photocopies. Original ID proofs. ठीक है. If I'm taking ZAT, do I need to apply for all ZAT 96 separately to get interviews? Yes. Just like in CAT, other than IIMs, you have to apply everywhere. In ZAT, you need to apply separately for XLRI as well. Okay. How many TITA in QA? In general, the way it goes, roughly about 28 to 30% of the paper will be TITA. So if say 22 questions come, I would say about 7-8 will surely be TITA in QA. Okay. Okay. Next, recheck your travel plan. If you are traveling to a place which is far, you know, some of you all are saying 100 kilometers, 120, this, that. यार एक दिन पहले पहुंच जाओ. Please reach 1 day early. Don't worry, don't do stuff towards the end. ठीक है. Don't do stuff. I'm sure this is not Gaurav sir. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked that question. There are many Gaurav Guptas. Our Gaurav sir is GOU, if I'm not wrong. That I'm sure of. Okay. Admit card color black or white doesn't make a difference. Either will do. Okay. Doesn't make a difference. Either will do. Don't worry about that. Finally, self-declaration COVID form. Second page of admit card. Please ensure it's filled up. Please ensure it's filled up. Say XLRS checkmark in the form only for that. I have not filled it up. If it's already checkmarked and you pay for both of them together, it's fine. Basically, payment will be double. ZAT ka form ka payment is alag and XLRI ka payment is alag. If you're paying for both of them combined, if the payment amount is 2,500, 3,000 plus, you've done both of them. Okay? Please ensure. But as far as I know, it's not checkmark. I'll have to check. I've not filled up the form as yet. Okay? If center is half a kilometer away, chill hai yaar. Koi tension nahi hai. In the last 7 days, should I give previous year mock? So first thing, Rahul, give nahi hoga, take mock hota hai. ठीक है. गिव नहीं होगा, टेक मॉक होता है. सेकंड, आई वुड से 2 से 3 मॉक लिखना है. 1 कुड बी प्रीवियस ईयर, 2 कुड बी मॉक्स. ओके, बट नथिंग मोर देन दैट. ठीक है. सिंगल डबल पेज डजंट मैटर. इट्स ओके. Single double page doesn't matter. Any chances of number of questions in QA being on same level? I doubt. Because if QA that happens, 4 questions will increase in quant, 4 overall. I don't think that will happen. ठीक है. For the IIT's applications have to be done separately. Yes. For every college you have to apply separately, guys. For every single college you have to apply separately. Okay, please keep that in mind. IIMs are the only ones which you applied along with CAT. For every other college separately. Keep your mask, sanitizer, glove, ready. Do ensure you take your mask. Glove probably not that important. Sanitizer bhi le jana just in case. But mask and sanitizer for sure. Okay, do take your mask. You don't want to go to a center where somebody is going to create hassles and say nahi. Public place है मैं नहीं allow कर रहा, something like that. You don't want that. Do it. ठीक है? Please do that. Any dress based things? Yeah. My recommendation, don't wear shoes. Many centers they ask you to open shoes. You can wear floaters with socks. अगर ठंड लग रही है, you're in Delhi or North, it's very cold. Wear socks along with floaters. Something loose. Try avoiding wearing something which has a lot of pockets. Sometimes they ask you to take that off as well. Don't wear kada and all. No watches. Don't cap all of that. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Generally, there is a place to store bags and phones, but it's at your own risk. There have been people known who've lost stuff, so just be careful. Cap mat pehenna. Cap avoid kar sakte ho to avoid, please. Items prohibited: pens, mobiles, electronic gadgets, watches, calculators, stationery, papers, books, scribble pad, wallet, goggle, electronic car, keys, bike keys, etc. All of this is not allowed. Please keep this in mind. Most of you all asking questions yahi hai. Please keep this in mind. ठीक है? Second, jewelry or other items containing metal, kada and all, if you wear, try avoiding. Not needed. ठीक है? Any tips for slot 3? Chill मार के जाना. Don't say analysis of slot 1 and slot 2. ठीक है? We need to show the original identity card, right? Yes, original ID proof, not identity card, ID proof. ठीक है? Shoes, footwear with thick soles, belts with large buckles, garments with large buttons generally are not allowed, so you can do away with all of this. ठीक है? Cool. Okay. Must submit authorization form with seal and signature at CAT center on exam day if you carry any kind of medical. So say if you have a hearing aid or something like that, there has to be authorization form with seal and signature. Please ensure that you carry that. ठीक है? Listening to you, I'm feeling tomorrow morning I have to go for exam. Excited अगर हो तो सही है. डर गए हो तो shame on me. But डरना नहीं चाहिए. Chill मारना है. Just be chill. Any tips for slot 1? Go in without any expectation. Generally highest scaling happens in slot 1 because most of the surprises come for slot 1. Slot 2 सबसे chill slot होता है. Generally कुछ scaling की जरूरत नहीं होती. जो होता है वही होता है. Slot 3 generally सबसे ज्यादा downward scaling होती है because you know everything always. So इसलिए थोड़ा downward scaling हो जाती है. So just be slightly careful. Slot 3 generally easy होता है. Tension नहीं लेने का. जिंदगी में chill मारने का. Okay? और session को like मारने का. ठीक है? Continue. Okay. Now, what are some of the challenges that might come up? Some of the challenges. Sir, no shave November है, shave करके जाओ. दिख रहा है ना? No shave November. I am following it. You can also follow it. Don't worry too much. Okay. It's Movember. Okay. Coming back here. Some things that can impact all. Questions more than 60 seconds. It will impact everybody. Don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. Just मारो chill. Slot 1 tougher than others. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है यार. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हर slot easy होता है. हर slot difficult होता है. जो इंसान लिख रहा है उस पर डिपेंडेंट होता है. स्केलिंग विल हैपन बेसिस ओवरऑल. कुछ नहीं है. एंड अगर तुम्हारा डिफिकल्ट हुआ, गुड फॉर यू, इट विल बी स्केलिंग इन योर फेवर. कीप दैट इन माइंड. इजी हुआ, गुड फॉर यू, यू विल आंसर मोर क्वेश्चंस. हर चीज इज गुड. ज्यादा टेंशन क्यों? माई स्लॉट इज 3. घबराना नहीं है. एट इमरान खान. ओके, दिस इज नॉट इमरान खान. यू तो एक्चुअली मत घबराओ. ओके. So different pattern, you know, 66 questions से ज़्यादा आएगा, कम होगा, doesn't worry, everybody will have it. Same, lovely, that's what you expect. Worst case scenario, 50 question from geometry, त्याग मत देना. Everybody will be in a state of shock. सबकी बोल रहे होंगे, यार मेरा क्या हो गया? What is happening? What will happen to me? Don't worry, everybody is going through that boat. Put your best foot forward. If you've gone ahead and looked at, you know, the kind of tricks we've spoken about in geometry in our previous set, go ahead and just use that. ठीक है? आप लोगों ने घबराना बिल्कुल नहीं है. Exactly, एकदम नहीं घबराना है. सर स्लॉट 2 हमेशा स्केल डाउन होता है क्या? सर एकदम भी नहीं. स्लॉट 2 जनरली स्केल होता ही नहीं है. जो होता है वही रहता है. स्लॉट 1 जनरली स्केल अप होता है. स्लॉट 3 स्केल डाउन होता है. स्लॉट 2 में जनरली कोई फाइट नहीं होती है. ओके. Some of the pointers which I want you all to keep in mind. Number 1, rise early, sleep early, please. Slot 3 में हो, sleep late, so that you get up only at 12 or something. ठीक है? Slot 3 वाले लोग, मैं वो नहीं कर सकता sadly. आके आप लोग के लिए सेशन लेना है. But yeah, what Nancy saying, what is scaling? Scaling basically means, यार every slot will not be the same in difficulty level. All types of students won't be same. Imagine you score a 90 in slot 1, somebody else scores a 90 in slot 3, and you realize that slot 1 was way tougher. Slot 1 में type of questions difficult थे, RC difficult था, DILR difficult था, something like that, tougher था. So slot 1 में scale above होगा. So the way to look at it is your 90 score might be similar to a 95 of slot 3. So यहाँ तो तुम्हारे 90 को 95 कर देंगे, यहाँ slot 3 के 90 को कम करके बोल देंगे 87, which is similar to something like that. So either you will be scaled up or somebody will be scaled down. ऐसे होता है. Basically so that there is no partiality and everybody is judged by the same level of difficulty. ठीक है? I am scoring 70 to 95. How can I score 100 plus? यार only tricks that we've discussed. ज़्यादा और कुछ मत करना उससे ज़्यादा. All Gautam sir students mostly play with monitor. Placing scale for geometry during exam. Scale allowed नहीं होगा, but paper. Measure this, do this, stuff like that. Paper, all of that, do it and do that. यार 70 to 95 अगर already हो सी 95 to 100 और 90 to 100 is easy, right? 90 to 100 is 10 marks, 8 marks तो हो जाएंगे. 2 क्वेश्चन जो गलत हो रहे तो उसको सही कर दो. That's about it. You don't need to do much more than that. So I would say just focus on accuracy if you're in the 90 range. 70 to 100, यार बहुत ज़्यादा jump in 7 days is very difficult. Focus on the basics. Revise. If it's a good day, then it won't be a 70 day, it will be a 95 day, and one additional question you get to 100. ठीक है? 160 plus watching, only 137 likes. ये 1:1 रेशियो नहीं है. तुम लोग रेशियो में अच्छे नहीं थे क्या? 1:1 लेके जाओ. चलो, come on quickly. Coming back to the second point. Have a balanced breakfast lunch. Wear comfortable clothes. Chill मार के balanced breakfast lunch एकदम अच्छे से खावा के जाना. बाथरूम की यूटिलाइजेशन ना हो, ज्यादा हैवी मत खा लेना. Just enjoy that day. That has to be a good day. Jeans and sweatshirt allowed, absolutely. Sweatshirt try avoiding with pockets. Generally some centers they create an issue. Make a checklist of the things you need. Please check before you leave. I've spoken about all the checklist and the things that you need to take. Reach the center on time. Now my recommendation on time, reach at least 1 hour early. यार वाटर बॉटल्स सम सेंटर्स में अलाउ, सम में डोंट. प्लास्टिक की ले जाना सस्ती वाली, ताकि अगर पंगा भी हो यू कैन लीव इट देयर, बट टेक इट. ठीक है, गर्म पानी लेके जाना, ठंडा नहीं, गला ना खराब हो जाए, टक टक ना हो, खांसो ना, वो सब ना हो. जस्ट कीप दैट इन माइंड. Okay, intangibles, like I tried to say. Use the restroom before the exam starts. In those 2 hours, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, including instructions, you don't want to use the restroom, you want to be chill. So don't get into all of that, okay? Read the instructions carefully and plan accordingly. Please keep that in mind. Instructions should be read very, very carefully. Instructions will give you a lot of inkling. कई बार instruction में number of questions भी लिखा होता है, go ahead and check that. So please ensure that all of that is happening, ठीक है? I am fasting on D day till exam gets over slot 1. हाँ ठीक है, that's okay. 10:30 तक खत्म हो जाएगा, वो फास्ट भी नहीं है. जिंदगी में 10:30 तक तुमने 90% ऑफ द टाइम नहीं खाया होगा. ब्रेन फ्रीज इज कॉमन, रिलैक्स एंड रीस्टार्ट. नाउ ब्रेन फ्रीज हुआ, कुछ नहीं हो रहा, टेंशन नहीं लेना. सीट को थोड़ा पीछे करना है ऐसे, माइंड को बोलना है चिल, 30 सेकेंड्स. दिमाग में बोलना है आई एम अ स्टड, आई एम अ स्टड, आई एम अ स्टड, नोबडी इज बेटर देन मी इन दीस 2 hours, नोबडी इज बेटर देन मी, आई एम गेटिंग स्क्रूड, आई एम इन अ बैड प्लेस, एवरीबडी इज हैविंग अ बैड डे. यू डोंट नीड टू वरी, चिल मारना है. ओके, दे वोंट बी रूल्ड पेजेस, इट्स फाइन. रूल्ड यहां पे भी नहीं होता. टेबल बनती है ना, ये लो टेबल बन गई यार. इतनी टेंशन जिंदगी में लोगे तो क्या होगा, बना दी टेबल. आई एम अ स्टड मेंटालिटी इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, वंस यू आर इन द एग्जाम हॉल, आई एम अ स्टड. बिफोर एंड आफ्टर आई एम नॉट अ स्टड, आई एम ओके. इन द एग्जाम हॉल आई एम अ स्टड, मेरे से बेटर कोई नहीं है. सो अगर कभी भी कुछ अच्छा नहीं जा रहा हो, सबको खुद को बोलते रहो यार औरों का भी अच्छा नहीं जा रहा. एज सिंपल एज दैट. फाइनल पॉइंट, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, enjoy the paper. You know, in my year, the only thing that I remember is how enjoy. And I came out and stated, मजा आया था कैट में. अगर ये बोल दिया ना मजा आया, यार वो सेट देख के मजा आया, ये क्वेश्चन देख के मजा आया, ये ट्रिक मैंने पहले देखी हुई थी, ऐसा मैंने पढ़ा हुआ था, यार ये मैंने जाके देखा हुआ है, सेम आरसी इस जॉनर का मैंने गार्डियन से पढ़ा था, मजा आता है, कॉन्फिडेंस आता है. दैट्स ऑल दैट यू वांट ऑन दैट डे. ठीक है, प्लीज एंश्योर दैट दैट हैपेंस. ओके, फाइनली one thing that I want you all to keep in mind, 7 days का one thing is the mentality I am a stud. खुद को दिमाग में I am a stud, I am a stud, I am a stud, मेरे से बेटर कोई नहीं है. In those 2 hours there is nobody. टेंशन उस 2 घंटे में एकदम नहीं लेना है. टेंशन लोगे कोई फायदा ही नहीं है. DILR का पैटर्न मैटर नहीं करता अभी के लिए. ठीक है, 22 क्वेश्चन होंगे, 4 ही सेट आएंगे. वहां पे समझो 24 आ गए, वहां पे समझो 16 आ गए, मैटर नहीं करता. अपने को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सबको ये हो रहा है, सबके साथ ये हो रहा है, सबको टेंशन है, हम टेंशन नहीं लेंगे. द मोमेंट वी डोंट टेक टेंशन, इट वर्क्स इन आवर फेवर. बी नर्वस. Nervous is positive, tension is negative. Sachin Tendulkar was nervous in every single innings in those 23 years. Nervous is positivity. जिस दिन nervousness नहीं होगी, that means this doesn't mean anything to you. ये matter नहीं करता, वो नहीं चाहिए. Nervous is good. Tension नहीं. Tension, negative energy. You will end up not doing well in the paper. Nervousness, yes. Tension, no. ठीक है? हाँ, मतलब एकदम 3 days, all is well, all is well, all is well. जिंदगी done. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, analysis half का देख सकते हैं, right? 1, 2. यार वसुंधरा, I would recommend don't do. सर आप कौन सा ड्रिंक प्रेफर करते हो बिफोर एग्जाम? जल दे दो मुझे, बहुत प्रेफर करता हूं. ठीक है. Okay, second, revise the important formulae. Revise the important formulae and concepts. Please keep that in mind. We've already spoken about that. Okay, and finally, plenty of sleep. जब भी हो, plenty of sleep. ठीक है, एकदम टेंशन नहीं लेना, plenty of sleep. चिल मारना है. ठीक है. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, दिस इज द की टू क्रैक कैट 2022. द की. साइड देख रहे हैं, लग रहा है टीम हंस रही है. यार ये सत्यांशु को कुछ ज्यादा ही दिख गया. हाँ, टीम हंस रही है, क्या करूं? ओके, टीम हंसो मत. ओके, कमिंग बैक टू वेयर आई वाज, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज चिल मैक्स. नेक्स्ट, द लास्ट 2 days बिफोर कैट, चिल मैक्स. नेक्स्ट 6-7 days चिल मैक्स. मॉक लिख रहे हो, अच्छा नहीं गया, 40 का स्कोर आया, चिल मैक्स, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. द बैड डे हैड टू हैपन, इट हैपेंड बिफोर कैट, नॉट ऑन द डे ऑफ द एग्जाम. मस्त है, चलेगा, नो टेंशन. ठीक है. मॉक लिख रहे हो, बहुत अच्छा चला गया, पॉजिटिव. ये नहीं सोचना अरे यार अच्छा चला गया, अब एग्जाम में अच्छा नहीं होगा, अरे ये हो गया, अच्छा गया, या अच्छा गया, विल किल इट. ठीक है. रिलीजियस इक्विपमेंट लाइक रुद्राक्ष अलाउड, जनरली यस, कड़ा बड़ा अलाउड. इफ यू कैन अवॉइड, ओके. इफ यू कांट, इफ यू थिंक इट्स वेरी सीरियस एंड इंपॉर्टेंट, कैरी इट, टेंशन नहीं होगी. ठीक है. ओके. नाउ फाइनली लास्ट 2 दिन क्या करना है? लास्ट 2 दिन बिफोर कैट ये करना है, बिंज वॉच. मैंने अपना बिंज वॉच डाल दिया. अपने को क्या करना है, पसंद आता है? बिग बैंग थ्योरी, फ्रेंड्स, होम अलोन, हैरी पॉटर, द अदर काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. चिल, यू नो, एकदम लाइट हार्टेड, एकदम चिल, मतलब दृश्यम 2 नहीं देखने जाऊंगा मैं उससे पहले, 2 दिन पहले। टेंशन नहीं चाहिए जिंदगी में कि वो क्या करेगा। आई वॉन्ट समथिंग एब्सोल्युटली लाइट हार्टेड, ठीक है, जो भी आपका, यप, हैशटैग चिलमैक्स, दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, दैट्स द की टू गो ahead and cracking cat. That's about it. The other kind of things I enjoy, you go ahead and watch whatever you want to go ahead and watch. But the point is, एकदम सब कुछ जो एकदम chill हो, ज़्यादा टेंशन ना दो, whatever it is that you like, सत्यांशु सिंह, Big Bang Theory, go ahead, watch it. जो है एकदम chill मारो, watch it, and you know, hopefully it will be good. Couple of things regarding the analysis that we are doing. We have detailed analysis for all 3 slots coming. You know, first impressions coming at 11:30 a.m. that I'll be taking. I will also join you in the first analysis because the faculty will be coming back from the center, so I'll be here coordinating with the faculty. I'll talk a lot about what was there, and slot 3 anyways I'm taking, so I'll be taking slot 3. ठीक है, मतलब लास्ट 2 डेज में कुछ नहीं करना, एकदम नहीं, लास्ट 2 डेज में चिल मैक्स, लास्ट 2 डे में जाके चिल मारना है, वेब सीरीज देखनी है, नहीं लाइट हार्टेड वेब सीरीज चलेगी, क्रिमिनोलॉजी मत देखना, चिल वाला कुछ देख लेना, हैव फन, गो अहेड, एंजॉय लास्ट 2 डेज में. हाउएवर कीप रीडिंग, स्पेंड 30 to 45 मिनट्स टू रीड समथिंग इन द मॉर्निंग, पेपर हो, समथिंग हो, गार्डियन, एनवाईटी, कुछ रीड करते रहना, ठीक है. शक्तिमान देखना है देख लेना मेरे भाई, कुछ नहीं जाता, देख लो, ठीक है. दृश्यम तुम बिल्कुल नहीं, ये तो गजब बोले. ओके, ठीक है. Live analysis on YouTube and the app, please catch us there. Those on the app catch us there, those on YouTube catch us there. Tension नहीं, देख लो, ठीक है. And finally, we are coming up with something which is a score calculator and thereby a percentile predictor. After the CAT exam, on the app and on the website, we have a score calculator where we will expect you to put in expected, you know, the number of questions you put in, and as per your expectation, accuracy क्या होगी, कितने expected correct है quant में, कितने expected correct है verbal में, and so on and so forth. वो डालोगे, उसको डेटा को हम एनालाइज करेंगे 3-4 दिन के लिए, ताकि when the response sheet comes by the 2nd or the 3rd of December, basis this data, we've already created some logic, AI based logic for percentile. Once we've created that logic for percentile, response sheet you will be able to upload and we will give you a percentile. ठीक है, so please ensure you use the score calculator on the 27th of November. Use it as much as possible, ताकि 1st, 2nd, 3rd जब भी your response sheet comes, we are able to give you expected percentile. Then only you have a better idea कि कहाँ apply करना है, कहाँ नहीं करना. ठीक है, just keep that in mind. Final thing, guys, final thing, and my face and my body might be covering this, so yep, now it's there. Next 2 days we are bringing something very, very important. We are bringing a marathon for all of you all, marathon session which will go on for about 8 hours, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on 21st and 22nd, next 2 days. All 3 sections will be done. We will revise the entire syllabus. We will solve a lot of questions. We have all our faculty coming there. I will also drop in if possible. Go ahead, enjoy, have a fun, attend this marathon. Please ensure that you go ahead and take as much benefit from it as possible. And those of you all, if there is somebody here preparing for 2023, do go ahead, join us. We're good. We provide the kind of concept clarity that you need, and we go ahead and help you crack CAT. And many of you all from this batch, I hope to see in the GDPI course which we are also launching. If you go ahead and score a high percentile, if you have a chance of getting a call from the top 10 to 15 B schools, I personally will be going ahead and mentoring students in the GDPI phase, which is stage 2. So if you've gone ahead, scored well, hit me up, enroll in the program. If you're already enrolled with BYJU'S, you don't need to enroll, and there'll be a one-on-one mentorship where I will help you answer questions like, tell me something about myself, long-term, short-term goals, and go ahead and answer questions related to the technical questions and stuff like that. So this is me signing out. Hashtag Chillmax. All the very, very best to all of you all. Hope CAT 2022 is a blast. Catch me for all of that. Catch us for the marathon over the next 2 days. Schedule sections, tension mat lo, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. hoga. Attend all. Hope you had fun. Hope this session was good. Hope you've enjoyed the last lap. Enjoy the marathon. Go like this session. Go, come back, watch us again. And all the very best for CAT 2022 from the entire BYJU'S exam prep team. All the very best. Have fun. Thank you.